You're watching Car Babble, I'm Ewan, and I'm in the Tesla Model Y, the long-range dual motors with all-wheel drive. And this is part 2 of my in-depth review of this car, and I'm going to focus on the driving experience and everything to do with range and efficiencies and all that sort of stuff. So if you enjoy my videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, otherwise buckle up, and let's get into it. Okay, so spoiler alert, this car is really fast. And when Tesla say they don't make slow cars, yep, they're not lying. I know Elon Musk likes to say things that are basically complete BS sometimes, but he's not lying about that one. This car is really quick. Now you've got 3 trim levels. You've got the standard rear wheel drive, you've got the long range dual motors with all wheel drive, this one, and then you've got the performance, which is also all wheel drive. And it's hard to imagine having more performance than this, but this one, the long range, has 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds, and it has 384 brake horsepower, and it has 527 newton meters of torque. For a family car, if you could tell me any family car that needs more power than that, I'd love to know. Even in the mid-range, just put your foot down on this surge of power. My God. What I cannot believe is how good this is to drive on a country road. The handling's excellent. It doesn't have a lot of body roll. Yeah, it's stiffly set up in the suspension and it's got 20-inch rims. That helps a little bit. The grip's excellent, but the steering is razor sharp. And so, yeah, you've got all this power and you can do the most amount of fun things with it as well. I feel like I'm driving a BMW M car or something. Okay, I may be exaggerating a little bit, but this is really, really good to drive on a country road. I cannot believe a car this heavy drives as well. Wow. Now I said in part 1 of my video that this car had really comfy seats, and I stand by that. However, when it corners so well, the one thing it's missing is a bit better side support to hug you in so you don't slide about so much in the seat, because that can really make you feel like you're wallowing about more than the car actually is. So that's probably the one chink in the armour in terms of handling I could really give it, and it's not technically handling at all. But having this much power on tap, the benefits are endless. Not only will it always make you giggle, and your kids probably be just thinking that your dad's a superhero, but the fact that you can just nip past people that are holding you up all the time with tiny amounts of space to do it and not really worry about it, or get up to speed in a jeweler quickly, it's just endless how many little things this will do to give you benefits to speed up your journey. You know, get off a roundabout, just anything. You could just nip out in traffic. So great in this car because it's so quick and you can put the power down. As I say, the suspension's firm, but it's not unbearably firm. At high speeds we fidget here and there, but overall it's not terrible. When you're at low speeds, you definitely notice the potholes and bumps a bit, but I'm not finding it unbearably uncomfortable. So when I look at that and the trade-off of that versus having this handling, yeah, I'm okay with that. Now this ain't CarWow, so I don't have any specialist timing gear, but I'm going to launch it and see how fast it feels, and that'll give me an idea if the 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds is really accurate or not. That's 60. Yeah, that's fast. Refinement's really good as well. This has double glazing, these windows, which is amazing. You don't see that in many cars. So that probably has something to do with why it's so quiet in here. But when I hear my own voice speaking, it feels very clear, and it just feels acoustically like they've done a great job in here. And obviously it's an EV, so you don't have any rattly diesel engine to worry about in the background. But generally it just feels very quiet and peaceful in here. So yeah, they've done a good job there. Having said that, there is a whistling noise coming from somewhere that I can't quite figure out. So I'm not really sure what that's all about, but that's definitely the only real noise I can really hear that's making an intrusion in the cabin. Visibility, on the other hand, is not particularly great. This rear window is really slim, which isn't ideal, and this mirror in the car is really quite small, and the wing mirrors are quite small as well. So generally speaking, I would say that visibility is a weak point of this car. However, you've got a full suite of safety kit to stop you from accidentally crashing into something, so that's all brilliant. However, the rear camera does not have a water wash system for it, so yeah, it'll get dirty pretty quick and therefore potentially useless. The Tesla say you'll get 331 miles of EV range in this long range. Well, like every other EV stat about range you'll ever hear, that's not entirely accurate in the real world. You're more likely to get between 250 and 280 if you're being frugal. And down in winter time when it's really cold, you might be down nearer like 220. But those are pretty good numbers, and better than most of its rivals. If you go for the performance model or the standard rear-wheel drive, it's less, and the standard has a smaller battery. This one has a 78 kilowatt-hour battery, but yeah, that's roughly the numbers you're going to get. So that's great, and it will probably do you for most journeys, but if you do a lot longer journeys, that's where the Tesla has trumps over its rivals. Tesla supercharger network is a very unique and awesome thing to have access to, because very few other cars can actually use a Tesla supercharger, and it will charge your car much quicker. It might not be very cheap, but if you do need to get going quickly, then that is going to make a big difference for cross-country driving. And obviously the car is so intuitive that it also will tell you exactly where the charging network is and how long it'll take to get there, and it'll plot your routes for you so that you never have to worry too much about whether you'll physically get there in time. So your anxiety from range is minimized as much as possible in a Tesla, more so than any other EV. And the way to look at it from that point of view is every hour that you have it charging at home, you'll add about 28 miles of charge. That's basically the simplest way to do it. Something else I really love about this car is the one pedal driving, which a lot of EVs have, but it's just such a useful feature, and it just, again, just takes more and more of the strain out of the things you need to think about doing whilst driving. And just take my foot off the accelerator, I know I'm slowing right down very quickly. I mean, it's not an emergency stop, but it is helpful, and I think you'll find you get used to it very quickly, and it's just a great feature to have. Something else that's good is my ass is getting a really good hearty roasting from the seat, and it's been on for ages, and yeah, it's really, really warm, and oh, it is so comfy to do miles in this thing. You've also got a heated steering wheel, which is great. Yeah, just really all the luxuries. Now, as much as I'd really love for this car to have some sort of head-up display or anything as a cockpit, and I really think that's a massive chink in the armour for this car, I have to say, since I've been driving around in it this afternoon, I haven't missed it as much as I thought I would. I would love to have one, but I haven't missed it as much as I thought I would. And looking slightly to the left to see my speedo in the top right corner of this infotainment screen, yeah, it's not in my eye line, no doubt about it, and you do kind of have to adjust your eyes to look at it, but I'm kind of getting used to what it is quicker than I thought I would, and so it's not bugging me quite as much as I thought. And I really, before I drove this car, thought that would be one of the major things I would think was a deal breaker with buying this car, was not having some sort of display in front of me to tell me my speedo and other information. But so far, not bothering me that much. Now, something else in the standard spec you get with this car is a really banging sound system, 13 speakers and a sub, and with all the acoustics and the double glazing and all that, it's just a really nice sound experience in here. And yeah, they're not singing about that one, but that's another kind of unsung hero of this car. You know, usually in cars, to get a sound system of this quality with that many speakers, etc., you would need to pay for an upgraded sound system, but in this car, it's standard. Now, like a few other Far East brands of cars, Tesla don't do option packs really for many things. Almost everything's included in the standard spec. And I love that. It's none of this German car, you know, optioning everything, and, you know, even adaptive cruise control's an option. In one of these, you get a great suite of autopilot equipment already, so you can do adaptive cruise, essentially keeping your safe distance from the car in front and staying in your lane, doing the steering, all that sort of stuff. But there are enhanced autopilot features, and then there is also full self-driving capability. Now, you can't actually use full autonomous driving yet in this country, so that would be a pointless pack to get anyway, but the enhanced pilot pack is maybe something to look at. But really, what you're getting is standard with this in terms of just taking the ease out of driving is fantastic. Now, one of the reasons why Volvo built their name up over the years was for being such a safe car. You wouldn't really necessarily think about safety when you think of buying a Tesla. However, it's a real unsung hero about this car. Another one. This is one of the safest cars on the market, and Tesla as a brand is one of the safest brands on the market now. Their scores in the NCAP safety ratings are some of the best out there. Absolutely brilliant, 5 stars across the board. This is a really, really safe car for you and your family. Also, if you're buying one of these new, you've got a 4-year warranty with up to 50,000 miles, so whichever comes first. And your battery and drivetrain is 8 years and 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. And that's better than most of its German rivals. So yeah, if you're buying one of these new, you're buying it on a lease or something, maybe even, you can have it for 4 years. Yeah, you're going to be covered the whole time. Now, build quality in the Teslas isn't their best suit, but it's definitely getting better, and at the rate they're improving, it soon will be a thing of the past. But that's definitely a gripe that some Tesla owners will have. I've read about the owner of this car's had a few little niggles, but a lot of things can be fixed by software updates, and that's awesome, because that means things are done remotely. Don't need to go to a garage. But reliability itself for this car isn't as bad as you might think. In fact, compared to its German rivals, it's no worse than them. In fact, it's probably middle to good as opposed to the bottom end of the scale. Reliability is really not that bad in this thing, and being an EV, there's way less moving parts and things to go wrong. So over time, I'd warrant you that the main things, the drivetrain, the battery, etc., will probably give you very few issues. So yeah, that's great. Somewhere else where you might save some money by owning a Tesla over an internal combustion engine car is servicing. It doesn't need that much done to it very often. So every couple of years you've got bits and pieces you have to do, but it's not really an annual thing like most cars are. So over time, that's going to equate to quite a large saving as well. God, this thing's amazing. So that concludes my two-part review of the Tesla Model Y. And my overall opinion is this is an absolutely amazing car. Okay, I said I love the Polestar 2, and I would have that if I was having an EV. Nope, changed my mind. I'd be getting a Tesla Model Y or a Model 3, or really any Tesla at all, to be honest, because I just think this is just something completely unique and special, and I can't believe how amazing this infotainment system is, how comfortable it is, how fast it is, mixed with the fact that you can really have fun with it on a country road. The range, everything about it is great. I just wish they could fix some of the little gremlins that are just stupid little issues that you have, like, you know, the wiper blades and high beam assist and all these sort of things that have been real niggles for the owner over time, and just little things that just seem to be glitchy. They can get on top of all that. There's very few faults in this car, and it's super practical as well. So if it's a family car, this will do everything you could possibly want and then some. So yeah, I really like this car. Anyway, those are my thoughts, guys. I would love to know yours, so please do leave me a comment below with your thoughts on my video and your experience of owning a Tesla. That would be great. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, please, because there's a lot more coming up on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.